Greetings, librarians. You know, fun fact, I was always meant to start my channel that way, and like I literally never said it. But anyways, hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to tell you a little bit about the book that I'm reading right now and why we are going to get into the title of the video, which is Shop My Shelves. For my next read, it's not going to be for like an entire TBR. That will be coming probably in my next video, but I am just, it's a little bit of a slow roller for me. The male main character is kind of getting on my nerves because like it's a YA book. I'm gonna show you. It's The Dividing Sky by Jill 2, and I don't think this was even on my TBR. I don't think, but or was it? I don't know. Don't give me the line, girl. Watch the video. But this is a YA fantasy. It came out recently. I want to say maybe like November, October, maybe October 2024. It's YA, black author, fantasy set in the future. I want to say like 2300 or something. Yeah, 2364. And there's a girl, she like saves scraps, which is like memories, and she sells them, and apparently like it's illegal or like highly discouraged, and she is supposed to go on like this big mission that is worth a lot of money that revolves around her getting this scrap or this memory. And then like the opposing like military, or not the opposing military, but the military of like the country or whatever, the enforcers, the police officers, if you will, there is a gentleman in there named Adrian who was like very like, you know, rule follower, you know, we have to keep the peace and, you know, all that type of stuff. And he's just taking his job like way too freaking seriously, and he's irritating me. Okay, so all that to say, he's irritating me by going against our girl Liv, like the female main character. So I'm just like, I really don't, and it's like dual POV, so we see his perspective and like his thought process, and him just taking everything way too freaking seriously, and like, dude, give the girl some grace. But he's irritating me, and it's slowing the book down. So I am on page 119. I'm about a third of the way through, and it's going okay, but I need something to break that up. So what I'm gonna do is I might do another bookshelf scavenger hunt. That was really fun last time, but I think I'm gonna try to pick different prompts. So that is what we're gonna do today, to pick another read. I'm not gonna DNF this. I just need a second book to read like when I'm not necessarily in the mood for this one, you know? And for some reason, I'm not really wanting to read the books that are on my TBR. So all the mood readers get me, right? So we are just going to spend a little quality time with my bookshelves and find something that is like gonna get me going. So let's go. Okay guys, I think I'm just going to leave the camera here. You can see most of the bookshelf minus the bottom shelves. You can never really see those, but it's just series and then some thrillers. A very few amount of thrillers, because most of the ones down there I have already read, so there's not a lot of options down there anyways. But then I have my tbrcart over here, and I will use those books if I need to for my scavenger hunt. So I have my iPad here, and I have prompts. Last time I just googled and found some, but I wasn't able to find any different ones, so I searched the YouTube and I found Riley Marie. I will link her channel down below in the video that has the prompts down below, and I just took a screenshot of the prompts, and we're gonna start there. So if you're unfamiliar, there's going to be 10 prompts. The final prompt is going to lead me to reading that book, and they will kind of like lead one to the next. So first up, the prompt says, pick a book you gave 5 stars, then find another book you would recommend to people who like that book. Okay. Instead of watching you guys watching me like be very indecisive, I'm going to turn the camera off and I'll be right back. And the book that I gave 5 stars is We Deserve Monuments. I think I gave this 5 stars. I should have fact checked this before I came up here. Give me a second. It's 4 stars. Okay. I picked new books. So one book that I have read and I gave 5 stars was Flowers for Algernon. This is by Daniel Keyes. I've read this at least twice. It is it's a shorter book. It's 305-ish pages, and this is a sci-fi about let me use the correct term. Okay, Charlie has a very, very low IQ, and he enters into like a study, an experiment that is also being done at the same time on a mouse called Algernon, and the experiment is supposed to help raise the person's or the organism's IQ and help them like retain and understand like their capacity for knowledge. And that ends up happening throughout the book, and we just see how Charlie goes from like it's written through journals and like interviews and like his accounts with the people in his life who he thinks are his friends, and it comes to find out like he's just not aware enough to understand that he's like being manipulated and stuff like that, and he gets really, really smart, and we just see how it goes from there. And we're also seeing the scientific aspect about Algernon, and the study has been done on Algernon first, so anything that Algernon's doing we expect Charlie to do, and it's just such a heartwarming book. Like, it's an upsetting book, it's a beautiful book, and I absolutely love it, and I don't think I've ever talked about it on my channel. But if you like that book, or if that sounds interesting to you, I would definitely recommend Annie-Bot. This is also a sci-fi book. I read this last year. I rated this one 4 stars. It was a little bit short, but this is about an AI like robot, and she was created to be like a cuddle bunny. It's what they're called in the books, like the style of robot for this man. I can't remember his name. Was it like Steve or Doug? She's created specifically for Doug to be his girlfriend, and we see throughout that like her gain a little bit more consciousness throughout the book and gain a little bit more like humanism and like emotions and wants and desires of her own, separate from like the person she was actually created for. And we just see like her intellect just expand beyond like what she was originally programmed to do. I feel like that's kind of similar in that means like seeing the person's mental capacity and their understanding, their emotional understanding just grow beyond what was necessarily expected, and like what the consequences and repercussions can be from like someone's intentions, a scientist's intentions, and like the actual product or like subject of the experiment or process. And I absolutely love both of these books. All right, so from Annie-Bot, count the number of letters in the title, then pick a random spot on your bookshelf and count to that number book. Okay, that should be easy enough. So on Annie-Bot, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna pick a random spot or random shelf. Random spot, and then we're gonna count to the 8th book. So we're going to start here, and we're gonna count 8 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we got The House of Eve by Sadika Johnson. So let's see, prompt number 3. Look at what is on the cover. Find another book with one of those elements in the title. So what's on the cover is a woman in a blue dress with a suitcase. I don't think it's a briefcase. I think it's a suitcase because I've read this. So I'm thinking it's a suitcase. So a woman wearing a dress and a purse and a suitcase walking down the street. So find a book with one of the elements in the title. All right, I'll be right back. So we have The House of Eve, and there is a city on the back, like a cityscape on the background. So I chose The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I have not read this, but this is a fantasy book written by N.K. Jemisin, a Black author. This is the first of, I want to say, 3 books. And I have not read N.K. Jemisin yet, and I hear that like every series she does has like a very different writing style, and she's like a freaking genius. It's in her craft. So I really am looking forward to it, but I'm very much intimidated. If you guys don't know, I'm intimidated by fantasy, but that doesn't stop me from buying them. But anywho, so now prompt number 4, reverse the page number of your book. reverse the page number of your book and find another book with the page count closest to that number. So this book, minus the acknowledgements, has 434 pages, so that reversed is 434. So let's try to find something with over 400 pages. Surprisingly, it was literally the first book that I picked up and it's on my TBR, but we're just going to pretend that it's not because we're doing this so that we can find something to read. But the book is The Clinic by Cate Quinn, and this book is so freaking close. It has 433 pages. I don't think it's going to get any closer than that. So I'm going to send it with this one, The Clinic by Cate Quinn. And this is a thriller about a girl whose sister is in an insane asylum or a mental asylum, and allegedly she commits suicide, but the female main character doesn't believe that, so she like infiltrates the clinic to get the real scoop, but she has to go like undercover as like a mental health patient herself and to find out the truth. So the next prompt from this: list some of the tropes of your book and find another book that shares one of those tropes. Okay, so maybe like undercover, or maybe like mental health representation. I don't know if that's like a trope, but undercover, famous actress, addiction. We'll see. Hang on. Okay, other than like the addiction bit, I feel like I hit this one right on the nose, and like the genre in and of itself. So I got Grounds for Romance by Mel Walker. I actually started reading this. I didn't get too far into it. Honestly, it was really repetitive and it was irritating me. So I put it down. I'll get back into it eventually, but it is a really short book. Also by a Black author. It's by Mel Walker, if I didn't say. But this is about Zara and Devin. Devin is an actor. He's trying to like petition for this role, but he has to go undercover as a barista who like sucks really bad at his job in order to like prove that he can like put on an act and like no one be the wiser. But this being a romance book, like I'm pretty sure I very much anticipate like a horrible third act breakup that's going to irritate me as well. Like she's going to find out that he's been an undercover actor and she's gonna be like, oh my god, so everything between us was a lie? You were acting this whole time? How can I even trust you? Like, and I just don't I don't want to get into it. Like I really don't, and it's short and I feel like it's gonna happen like any second, even though I'm on page like 40. But anywho, I feel like this very much matches like the undercover actor. That's as close as it's probably gonna get, so I'm gonna send it with that one. And from that, prompt number 6, find a book that has the same color combination of your book. So purple and brown. Let's see. All right, I have an oldie but goodie. Fun fact, one of my favorite movies actually. So this is Grounds for Romance, the previous book. It's purple, it's brown, it's got white on it. So the book that I chose that has similar color scheme is Waiting to Exhale by Terry McMillan. It's purple background, brown skin woman, okay, and then like white font. So I feel like that's decently close. I don't have anything with this like kind of like orchid purple. This is kind of like the closest shade, otherwise it was going to get into pink. So I'm gonna go with this one. The next prompt is read the first sentence, pick any word in that sentence, and find a book with that word in the title or pictured on the cover. All right, hopefully it's actually a sentence and not just like a word or phrase or something silly. Oh, shut up. There's actually chapter titles. Bring back chapter title and a table of contents so you know what page to go to for what chapter. All right, so the first sentence is, right now I'm supposed to be all geeked up because I'm getting ready for a New Year's Eve party that some guy named Lionel invited me to. Plenty of words. Okay, so we have right now, geeked, New Year's Eve party, guy, invite. I don't know, maybe getting ready. There's tons. So let me find a good book. You guys, I was getting real nervous but I ended up finding a good book. So I'll read the sentence again. Right now, I'm supposed to be all geeked up because I'm getting ready for a New Year's Eve party that some guy named Lionel invited me to. So the book that I chose was Reggie and Delilah's Year of Falling. This has year. This had New Year's Eve. That counts, okay? Don't argue with me. This book I have read. This is a YA romance. It's romance, a YA romance. It's super, super cute, and like the characters on the cover are like, they speak to my soul because they're both like nerdy in their own way, and like they're both a little bit insecure about it, but they present as like very comfortable. And like I feel like a lot of like young black nerdy kids have done that. Like, oh yeah, I'm totally fine with this, but like you're actually probably a little bit anxious about like showing your full true self, but they actually were super adorable. And I really, really like this. Next, I have prop number 8, turn to the acknowledgements, and the first name you see, find a book written by an author with the same name. All right, I don't remember there being acknowledgements in this book. Oh, here we are. First, thank you to Sherry at Lice Removal by Magic Hands for delousing my children and talking me down the week my revision was due. Okay, Sherry. It says finding a book written by an author with the same name. I wish they would have said their last name. I only have one name. I don't know if I have a Sherry, but let's see. So as I suspected, I do not have a Sherry. I have a Stephanie. I have, who else did I have? I had a Sunny. I had a Stephanie, another S name. But the closest I have to Sherry without like picking another name, because I'm pretty sure I read ahead, and the next person was like Larry. No, Alessandra. I certainly don't have an Alessandra. So I'm just going to go as close to Sherry as possible. And I'm going to pick Brittainy Cherry. That's one letter off. And C sometimes makes the S sound. So like, So I'm going to go with this one. The Gravity of Us by Brittainy Cherry. This is a series that I talk about all the time. It's the Element series. It's the one book that I haven't read from the series yet, but I absolutely adore her writing. I adore her, like, the themes of her books are so deep and strong and like heart-wrenching. Like if you want a tearjerker, she's the one to go to. So I'm just gonna go ahead with that. All right, and then number 9, look at the cover and find a book that has a similar looking cover. Well, that's gonna be very easy because every book in this series has a similar looking cover. Well, maybe not, but like I feel like they all are similarly looking. I was gonna pick this one. It's literally the same, just like different color scheme. But let me see if there's something a little bit closer to this. Oh, you know what? Funnily enough, it's a book that I'm reading right now. The Dividing Sky, and I was gonna say because it's set in outer space. It's not. It's just like a sci-fi futuristic book, but it has the same colors. It has like sky, gravity. This one's like outer space, so I think I'm gonna go with this as far as it being like similar. So, and then the last prompt, number 10, is going to be the one that I'm going to read. Add your birth month and day together. For example, January 11th is 1 plus 1 equals, 1 plus 11 equals 12. Turn to that page number in your book. Pick any word on that page and find a book with that word on the title. Oh, okay, that's plenty. So my birth month is October, so 10, and birthday is the 27th, so 10 plus 27 is 37. So turn to page 37 and find any word on that page and pick a book that has that word on the title, right? Yep, with that word in the title. Okay, so let me read this. It's a lot on this page. It's this page, so it's a lot. So I'm going to read this and find something that fits, or find a few options. show you the options, and then we'll pick together. I was starting to get worried. It's been like at least 10 minutes since the last clip when I was reading this page. I read the page. Believe it or not, I only came away with 2 books that fit the prompt. Like, of all the words on this page, 2 of them that I can see anyways match the prompt. And then I was like, dang, I'm not really gung-ho about reading either one of these, but I feel like one of them is definitely more promising to like give me a good reading vibe than the other one right now. I think they're both gonna be great, but one of them, not the time right now, not the vibe I'm looking for. So the first one is The 4 Winds by Kristen Hanna, and I got this because one of the sentences says, but 4 years later, Kez is still devoted to the cause. So 4 years, 4 wins. This one, the little blurb in the front says, epic, an American epic about love, heroism, and hope set during the Great Depression, a time when the country is in crisis, when millions were out of work and even the land seemed to have turned against them. So this one, and I mentioned it in a recent video as well, that like I almost read this, I considered reading it, but I just wasn't in the mood for like a down bad type of book. And they said definitely, like one of you guys in the comments said, definitely like mentally prepare yourself before you read that. And this is, I'm really not wanting to read something like this right now. So the other book is coming from this sentence. Dang, I could have sworn I saw, oh, here we go. He pops a helmet on my head before I can think of a witty rebuttal, and we start the ride to the towers. So ride is the word, and I picked this book, Along for the Ride by Mimi Grace, and this is going to be the one that I'm going with. This is the one Mimi Grace book that is not a part of the series. These ones are in the series. I've read the first 2 books, and I started this one, but I haven't finished it yet. So I'm gonna read this one, which is a standalone, and it is about a girl offering to help her sister and brother-in-law move halfway across the country, but the brother-in-law's like best friend, she like absolutely hates him, and like this is gonna be a romance. It's gonna be like an enemies to like, seems like enemies to lovers type situation, and there's gonna be like tension and like banter, and I think it's just gonna be a really fun read. And all of her books are really short, so I'm excited to read this one. There is no audiobook, so this is going to be like very like sit, have your music going, sit in the reading chair, get your blankie, and just cozy on up and like just enjoy the reading experience. And that's really what the vibe I'm looking for. It's really short, it's not that much of like a time investment or anything like that, so I think this is going to be an excellent fun read, and I'm excited that this scavenger hunt was successful and I didn't have to cheat. So thank you guys, other than the cherry sherry thing, but I don't have a sherry, like it's fine. I'm okay with cheating in that sense because that was real freaking close. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to see more of this style of video, leave some prompts down below because it was so hard to find like actual prompts for this. I love like getting intimate with the bookshelves, with my bookshelves, and just like seeing books that I have that I might have forgotten about. Like I definitely hadn't thought of like a couple of those books in a while, like Flowers for Algernon. I love that book. I forgot it was even 5-star, but like I love to like revisit it and just remind myself that I love so many of these like older books that I've read a long time ago, and to like pick up a book that I probably might not have like gone for organically. I love that. So if you guys have prompts, they don't necessarily have to be like a whole 10, but just like give me like a book prompt or whatever for the scavenger hunt, and then I will like put them in order and we'll do this again in the future, either for like just like my next read, or I can do like a coffee chat or whatever. Just leave your prompts down below in the comments and we will make our own. Like I said, I will put the creator whose prompts I used down in the description box, and I think that's it. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so, and if you like this style of video, give it a thumbs up and we'll keep doing more because this is really fun. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.